Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast, brought to you by Strava Craft Coffee. Remember to use the promo code DNVR20 for first-time users to get 20% off, and DNVR25 for second-time users to get 25% off your entire purchase of that CBD-infused, deliciously rich, and potentially life-altering Strava Craft Coffee. I'm your host, Drew Creasman. I'm the managing editor of DNVR Rockies. With me, as always, is beat writer Patrick Lyons, and joining us for this special, easy for me to say, DFA show on this special St. Patty's Day, top of the morning or afternoon to all of you out there, for a big draft. We got Big Drive Spence from over at DNVR Golf, and you know him as a draft specialist here on the DNVR Rockies podcast. And of course, queen of the DNVR Draft Rockies situation, like just destroying it at these so far. Makayla Perkins, director of social media here. How's everyone doing?
Doing good. Happy St. Patrick's Day for everyone.
Right.
Already had my corned beef. Passed on the cabbage, though. Passed on the cabbage. Corned beef.
Just
check.
Another excuse to start drinking in the middle of the week.
Did anybody find any green bagels at their local bagel shop by chance? Is that big out here in Colorado? I don't think it's quite as big as it is on the East Coast.
Your East Coast is showing, Patrick.
Yeah, I even had a green pizza.
It sounds like a bad idea.
Patrick, I have literally never heard of a green bagel in my life.
Well, it's only for St. Patrick's Day, and I mean, I guess if you get there really late and they're digging in the back and they've got some kind of old back stock, but yes, you can have green pizza, green bagels. I mean, anything with dough. You can also put some in your Breck Brew, of course.
And this has been Dough Science with Professor Patrick Lyons.
There you go. You gotta do it up properly with anything with green food dye you can put in it. That's how you celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Green beer is the simple enough go-to, and I've actually just got my green label on my Hop Peak IPA, so that works just as well. And I'm pretty sure hops are green, so that counts. So we're doing well. Oh, and my hat actually says Ireland on it.
I like how you said that like it was a coincidence. Oh, and as it turns out,
well, as it just so happened, I have this one hat for this one day every year. All right. So what we're going to do today is, we're going to have a whole lot of fun drafting dudes. Guys, we expect to be dudes. Dudes, we expect to be guys. It's going to be an interesting season for the Colorado Rockies. We all know we don't expect them to win a ton of games, but we're going to be on the lookout for each, one of these individual players. And so we're going to have to tie ourselves now to groups of dudes. You're going to have to pick. Is that your dude? Is that your dude? And you're going to have to own it up. And all of you out there are going to decide who's got the best group of dudes. We'll take a look at it now. We'll come back to it. Maybe middle of the season, end of the season, maybe once a month, every other month, something like that, and take a look at whose dudes are really being guys. Have I made that clear yet? I don't know what that means.
I don't think I've ever heard the word dude so many times in like less than a minute right then.
I was going to say, Makayla.
I did request for more dudes in there, but Drew's not reading. He's going off script, so he hasn't had that. But this is important to know, so that Makayla, if you come on a post game, or Spence, you're joining us, we can go out and say, Spence, your dude, Connor Joe, with the big hit in the 7th. That's going to be a thing. We need to know whose dude is your dude.
Why are you releasing my picks before I even get to start?
It's like,
look, I'm putting it out there.
That's my guy.
He's got deep strategy here. Like, hold on.
And now I have to draft him early because everybody knows.
Connor Joe has Spence's dude written all over him. I think we knew that. I think we knew that going in.
So a couple of rules. There are very few rules to this. One thing, no Trevor Story or Charlie Blackmon. They're everyone's dudes. They're just the dudes, right? Everyone knows they're going to be good. Who knows how long Trevor Story is going to be on the team? Sorry, but that is what it is. So we're going after that. These guys, someone you've really got to believe in. It doesn't take any kind of leap of faith to believe that Charlie Blackmon's going to be good. Even, and not to give too much away, but even though we talk about the pitching staff being decent, there's question marks for everybody else on this team. And so no Charlie, no Trevor. Everyone else is draftable here in the Who's Your Dude draft.
Yeah, if you want to go heavy on the starting pitching, or you like a lot of outfielders, Or even if you just say, you know what, I like a lot of these dudes that are going to be stuck in the minor leagues for the entirety of the season. Whatever you want, whoever you want as your dudes for 2021. And we're going to have to re-up next year. So, don't worry. Don't think of this as some kind of futures draft and you're going Zach Veen. I mean, great, but we're not going to be talking about Veen all that much during the course of the Rockies season. So it could be a wasted pick, but you can have at it. And Drew laughed at me when I said it, and everyone should just laugh at it now. You can pick coaches. So if you want to pick Bud Black and that's your dude, you know what? Have at it. Bud Black can be your dude.
Pick like a hitting coach or something.
Stu Cole.
He's someone's dude
Stu
out there.
Cole.
There are Stu Cole fans out there that would say, hey, that's my dude.
So it's all on the table, and the fans will decide who ultimately is proving to be a dude. We're not going to let WAR or batting average or any of that. We're going to let the fans, are very knowledgeable, very smart, dare I say beautiful fans, decide who's got the best dudes. One last thing we have to decide before we can get into the draft, though, is of course draft order. I just very quickly, so I'm gonna get the last decision of where I get to pick. We're going to do a quick closest to the pin stat trivia game. Patrick will get the first guess because that'll, I think, get us closer to where it's at. And then you guys can guess wherever you want on the number. Whoever's closest to it has their pick of where they want to go first, fourth, whatever, wherever you want to go and so on, as closest to the pin. The number is Charlie Blackmon's career home runs. How many career home runs in the career of Charlie Blackmon? Got career in there twice.
All right, so if I'm in there first, I know we kind of covered this somewhat intimately last week when we discussed, hey, here are a couple upcoming records. I know he's within striking distance of 200 home runs this season. Exactly how many, I'm not sure. I'm going to go, he's either 17 or 19 away. I'm going to say 181 career home runs for Chuck Nasty.
181 is Patrick's guess. Spence and Makayla, you can jump in wherever you want with yours. Whoever's closest to the pin gets to decide.
I'm not sure what Patrick and I have going on today, but 181 was literally the number I had in my mind. I'm not joking.
Brutal.
That
You've got to price this right him. Go up,
I know.
Up one or down one.
I'm going to go 184.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go under. I'm going to go with 175.
And wait, oh, that's so close. 3 away. So Max 3 away. It's 178 is the answer. So Mac and Patrick are both actually.
They tied. You should have just prices right at him and said 180, and then you get everything.
Say, she had to go. Well, since Mac is the guest, that means she gets first choice. It doesn't necessarily mean you get first pick because we're going to snake draft it. If you want the fourth pick, so you can get 2 in a row, you want to go second, you just get to decide here.
I will go first.
Okay.
Are we starting now?
Yeah, and then no. We'll start in just a second. Then Patrick, I guess. Then do you get to pick where you?
I'll be gracious as one of the co-hosts. I'll go last. I'll go fourth.
Okay. And Spence, do you want?
I'll go second. Yeah.
Okay.
And as crazy as this is, this was the order I was going to pre-select for us. And so this would just be a good order. I have a feeling the flow is going to really hit off well.
This feels right.
And it will. Okay, this is great.
So one last thing before we get into it, as we take a sip of our Breck Brews and Celsius, is to take a look and remind everybody that, like, who is even out there, who's available, what the categories are. Let's take a look at these players, just so we can all give ourselves a refresher, especially once we're all on like our 5th pick right here. So we got some starting pitchers. Here's how you expect them to line up more or less. Armand Marquez, Kyle Freeland, John Gray, Antonio Senzatella, Austin Gomber. Probably the strongest unit on the team right there.
I think we'd all be happy with any of those dudes. I think so.
Those are solid.
Gomber's an unknown dude, but pretty quickly, I think people are going to be happy to have them in their dude stable. Makayla, how are we doing?
Makayla, we're going to set a record.
We're checking in. Have we said dude enough?
We're all building
relief
stables.
Relief dudes.
Okay,
Daniel Bard,
Here are the relief
comeback
dudes.
player of the year,
Yep.
aka comeback dude of the year. Scott Oberg, longtime Rockies reliever. Robert Stevenson came over in the Jeff Hoffman deal. Yency Almonte, Carlos Estevez, all bullpen dudes.
Or some dudes, and you can't go off the board, but
those are just the first 5 that are probably right off the top of your head.
It's like looking at the draft board ahead of a draft, and then someone's dude ends up being, what was his name? Nick, what's his ass for the Red Sox?
Nick York.
Nick York, thank you. We did that quicker than we usually do.
Yo, that was wild. We didn't even have a graphic ready for Nick York, and I made 100 prospects graphics for the MLB draft.
Right.
100.
It was like 15th pick. They took someone none of us had heard of.
But you can do that. You can go the Nick York of the Rockies bullpen. They do have a lot of relievers this year, so that one is kind of hard to figure out who the top 5 would be. The top 5 infielders, for the most part, will keep Hampson in the outfield group. Ryan McMahon, Brendan Rodgers, CJ Crone, Josh Fuentes, Chris Owings are some of the guys you'll see on the diamond for the Rockies. In the outfield group,
a couple of dudes.
Raimel Tapia. I don't think anyone is going to pick him. He's going to slide. I think he'll slide. What do you think?
Yeah.
Garrett Hampson, center fielder. Sam Hilliard, Jonathan Daza, Connor Joe. All guys you might find in the outfield. And then you get wild card picks, right? You got the prospects. You got catchers. You got coaches. Ryan Rollison, the top pitching prospect in the organization. Colton Welker, Ryan Valade, Elias Diaz, Bud Black. And again, you can go anywhere you want. Other than Dinger, I know someone's thinking about Dinger. Again, he goes in that he's all of our dude. He's the mascot dude.
Apparently, Connor Joe is the dude of the chat and
dude du jour.
Like, come on,
he could be the dude du jour.
Love it. All right, Mac.
All right. I feel like I'm going to be really predictable here with the first pick overall. I'm going to pick, of course, the ace on the team, Mr. Armen Marquez. I think he's obviously the ace for a reason. You know, he's got his last season, his WAR was 1.7, which is great. He hasn't looked as good in spring training as I'm sure he hoped he would at this point. He definitely needs to work on locating some of those pitches better. But spring training aside, he is the go-to guy for the Rockies. He has a ton to prove this year, and I'm excited to watch him pitch. And I mean, I think it's kind of an easy first pick, but I'll take it. And I'm excited to see what Marquez can do this year.
I love that. That's a great first pick. There's a few really good first picks, I think, in this round, but you definitely can't go wrong with that. Guy's going to be the opening day starter. And Makayla, we didn't hear you say, with the first overall draft your dude pick,
doll it up.
Makayla's dude is Armen Marquez, starting dude.
Let me try again. Let me do my best Rob Manfred impersonation. With the first pick in the DNVR Rockies My Dude draft, Makayla Perkins selects Armen Marquez of the Colorado Rockies.
Fantastic.
That's how you do it.
We need it.
That's how you do it.
Move over, Rob Manfred. I'm coming for your job.
Right.
Spence, are you feeling good? Connor Joe still on the board for Spence. Is it early? Is it not?
It's a little early. I've got a couple of other dudes that I'm eyeing here.
Interesting.
And so with the second pick in the 2021 all dude draft, DNVR Rockies all dude draft, I'm going to take the Colorado Rocky, Kyle Freeland.
That's not the other one. Kyle, the style. No, that's not a.
That's the pick. That's go Spence. Yeah. Why is he the guy that jumps out? Was he your 1-1 on your board?
Yeah. So Kyle Freeland, I actually played against him in high school. I won't mention how that at bat went for me, but I did play against him in high school over at Thomas Jefferson. We played a summer game there. I've always been a Kyle Freeland guy. That's like a thing. And that is the one current Rockies jersey that I own. I own two. One current Rocky is Kyle Freeland. And more than everybody forgets, he was in top 3 in the Cy Young voting 2 years ago, I believe, or 3 years ago. And I love the fire he plays with. Recently, I've come around on a Tom Brady take where I used to hate him. And I just love the fire he plays with. And I feel like Kyle Freeland is the most fiery guy on the Rockies. And he's from Colorado. It's just an all-around steal at number 2 for me.
Can't argue with that. Drew, now before
I have a feeling I know what's going to happen right here. So
well, no, before Drew goes, Drew, I would like to move up in the draft and acquire the third overall pick here. Is there any chance I could coax you into trading away your pick or not?
Okay. You got some of those Green Road CBD stuffs, right? Mine took a while to come in. I'm taking my own draft pick here. I'm sticking with, and I might surprise everyone. I'm going to try to play this a little bit strategically. And stay with the category. This is more of a long-term pick because I don't think people will be as excited about it yet. But I think people are sleeping on him. I'm staying with starting pitching just because I don't want to get left out of that situation. And I'm going to take John Gray. I think people are forgetting that the guy is in a contract year. He's got everything to prove. All the peripherals are there. All the strikeout numbers obviously have been there. The ERA plus, all those things. It's just about him putting it all together and proving to whether it's going to be the Rockies or somebody else that he can do it. So I think it's going to be a big year for John Gray. I don't think this is going to win me a lot of love right now, but I got to make sure I get a pitcher on the board. Obviously there's only a couple of them left. So yeah, I'm taking.
That was not what I was expecting at all.
Connor Joe, right? Right,
yep,
Makayla?
100%.
Taking Connor Joe.
Connor Joe is going.
You can't get left out of the starting pitching party. You can't. This is going to be a great rotation. I can't not be in on that. Got to stick with the strength of the team.
Look, there's an elephant in the room. Drew, your guy in life is Raimel Tapia. Why would you leave him out there for somebody else to claim as their dude?
John Gray has been my dude just as much. He just wasn't as long a shot, But John Gray has always been my dude. Sure,
you were going to take Tapia. That's like the one guy that you won't stop talking about. Like that is Drew Creasman's dude.
But here's the thing, though. Everyone now knows Tapia is going to be good, and I'm not the only one saying it. But I got to take the guy that people aren't necessarily sure is going to be a dude. Who I'm going, no, that's my dude. The guy everyone's like, John Gray. I'm like, yeah, that's my dude. Watch him go. He's going to do stuff.
Although I will say, if DraftKings Sportsbook had released odds before this draft, like they do the MLB draft, Drew Creasman not taking Raimel Tapia would have been like plus 40,000.
Hey, if he'd have still been there by my next pick, I'd have taken him. But
I literally skipped
my 1B.
I skipped Tapia because I am a big Raimel Tapia fan until I met you, Drew. And then I was like, I got to let Drew I was a Raimel Tapia stan from the first at bat. And I was like, all right, Drew has outpaced me in the Tapia love. So I will let him have that.
Wow, Drew. Wow. You really blew it there.
He's
that is part of strategy. I sort of liken the relationship between you and John Gray as like best friends growing up. And he said, look, if nothing happens by the time we're 40, what do you think? Should we get married? And that's that's the longer relationship he's had. And then Tapia, he's just in love with Tapia. But you know what? Really, his heart has always been as a John Gray guy. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. All right, with my first dude that I'm going to take, he was my dude last year, and he disappointed me a little bit. But I think he's going to rebound. He needs to rebound for himself, for the organization. I'm going to go with Ryan McMahon as my dude. 4th overall pick. In 2019, at the beginning of the season, I said, it's either
I thought Tapia was the 4th overall pick. I thought you just took Tapia.
No, I didn't. I never said that.
Oh, okay.
I never said Raimel Tapia.
Oh, okay. I see. Kale was just thinking of the way you said it. Okay, so you're taking Ryan McMahon.
No, Ryan McMahon, 4th overall. Yeah. In 2019, I thought it was either Dahl or McMahon. One of those two guys was going to be an all-star, maybe both. And, McMahon certainly played like an all-star. It seemed like the second half of the season. And long story short, Dahl's no longer with the team, but Ryan McMahon is and still looking to become an all-star. And here's where I'm kind of put in a bit of a bind. Here's where I'm put in a bind. I think there's a few ways that I can go, and I'll be happy with how any of these things play out. But in a way, I think I'm going to do the anti-Creasman. I'm going to do the anti-Creasman. So Drew has left his guy out there hanging for anybody else to grab, and is going to get all the flack in the world for leaving his beloved out there. But I'm not going to do that to my guy, because he's my guy.
He's on the board.
And you know what? I could have my cake and eat it too. And Spence could take this gentleman, and Makayla could take this gentleman, and I could still say, yeah, we all know he's my guy. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it that way. So that is why, of course, with my second pick, I'm going to have to pick Mr. Josh Fuentes. Because he is my dude.
He is your dude.
2018, drove down to Albuquerque, slept in my car, because that's what you got to do when you're grinding away. And you know what? Got to see him with my eyes. And I said, who is this guy? Oh, and he's related to who? This is news to me. And from there, just kind of realized that he was going to be a dude, and that he would almost forever be my dude. So there you go. Josh Fuentes, my dude, second overall pick. Kale, you're getting ahead of us again. Kale, you're getting ahead of us. But I like what you're doing.
Kale's absolutely.
Drew, you owe me one. Right, you really just owe me so much.
How did this happen? You guys.
I had a plan of strategy and attack, and it worked. All right, that's all I'm saying.
It's Machiavellian.
Sometimes you gotta think 5 steps ahead here, right? You gotta have a little insurance, maybe. That's what I do. And I actually just checked out Gabby Insurance today for legits, though. GABI Insurance. Check them out. GABI.com/DNVR. I went there. It took me about 5 to 6 minutes. Plugged in all the information. Found out I'm going to be able to save about $480 over the course of the year just on car insurance alone. So you're probably overpaying for your car and home insurance. Turns out I was. I bought a new TV last year for that amount of money. I could have had 2 of them, I guess. I don't know, whatever. $480, that's not an insignificant sum. It's totally free to check, no obligation. They do not, share your information or give you a bunch of calls. I've gotten 0 calls or text messages, even for, hey, thanks for signing up. None of that. They're not going to bombard your phone. They're just going to let you know that you've got some better options out there probably for your insurance. So check them out. Head to Gabby.com. That's GABI.com/DNVR and see how much you can save. And again, make sure you do that there with the /DNVR. It gives us credit, lets them know we're how you found them. Yeah, I said that right. And it really does go a long way. And this one, we're not lying to you, folks. Just check it out. You're probably going to be able to save money. There's no downside to this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna save $373, which I don't know if that means I win. Is that better to have a lower number than you, Drew? I don't know exactly what that means, but regardless, I still feel like a winner because I'm using Gabby.
End up in a pretty solid situation, and as always, of course, brought to you by our favorite drinks, Breckenridge Brew, having the Celsius, having the Hop Peak IPA. And Strava Craft coffee, which I just realized I left a heated up one in the microwave. That's always a fun game when my girlfriend comes home from work and finds a no longer hot cup of coffee in the microwave. And of course, Kale was absolutely right with my second pick in the Who's Your Dude draft. I'm taking Raimel Tapia. Let's move
unbelievable. I cannot believe we're
after
in this
all
position.
that.
Oh
right,
my God.
Connor Joe is still available. It still might be early, but we are getting into the time where Connor Joe's name needs to be called. We'll see.
Voodoo on you.
Connor Joe is my dude, but he's going to be my dude later in this draft. Right now, I'm going to go to a guy that I feel like Rockies fans have forgotten about, and for multiple reasons. 1, he didn't play last year. 2, it's maybe the most forgotten part of this baseball team. And I'm going to go with the future closer for this team and the best pitcher coming out of the bullpen, Scott Oberg.
There it is. That's a good pick.
Whoa.
Great pick. Makayla, gotta get your thoughts. Were you going Oberg with your next pick if Spence hadn't taken him?
Sorry, say that again.
Was Oberg your next guy on the board?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No, he was
I
not.
still think that's a fantastic pick. You're right.
I do too.
People kind of, if they haven't forgotten about him as far as his story, they've just forgotten what he can do on the diamond, right? They just forgetting how dominant he's been in 3 straight consecutive seasons. And ultimately, if he plays out the rest of his contract and is healthy, I mean, could really go down as the greatest reliever in franchise history, maybe even passing Steve Reed, who nobody's ever heard of. But people have heard of Scott Oberg.
There you.
And he might have the mantle. All right, Makayla, you got 2 picks in a row. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I have my draft board is still pretty much intact. So I'm ecstatic. I'm really happy right now. Okay, so for my second pick, I'm gonna go with most likely. I know he just got a little bit banged up, so a little scary on the injury front, but I'm going to go with the most likely person to start at second base for the Rockies this year in Brendan Rodgers.
Great.
Obviously, he's still young. He debuted in 2018, and it didn't go probably as well as I thought it was going to go. And I know he just got a little bit banged up during spring training, but I think he should be okay in time for the season, right? Is that the understanding?
Well, yes, those are reports. He's kind of day to day. We'll see what happens. But you know what? Even if he does end up missing some time, when he's back on the field and he's healthy, he's going to be a dude.
Yeah.
He's the next big guy on this team for sure.
Yep. He's definitely one of the biggest names in the Rockies organization right now. And I think he's going to crush the ball and provide a lot of good offensive moments that I think the Rockies are really going to need. Obviously, the offense is the biggest concern heading into this season. So Brendan Rodgers is my dude at number 2. And then my dude at number 3, I guess my number 3, is the current closer, Daniel Bard. The best season, the best story coming out of the Rockies organization last year. He is my dude, I think, overall, but I took him at number 3 just because I wanted to get some of my other people up there first. But his story is my favorite baseball story in the Rockies organization. He converted on all 6 of his saves last season. He is a great pitcher. I think he's going to hold on to the closer role for the whole season. I'm a little worried with injuries with Scott Oberg. So I just have so many feel good butterflies about Daniel Bard because his story just is so cool. I don't think you get those kinds of moments in baseball history often. And so when they come along, it's really cool to, be a part of that, be a fan of that. And so I'm excited to see what he does this coming season. And I think he can hold on to that closer spot. He's got some great pitches in his arsenal that he can deal. So I'm really happy with my picks so far.
I think a lot of the articles that are going to be coming out after this draft and early on Thursday morning are going to talk about the interesting relationship between you and Daniel Bard, both coming out of the Diamondbacks organization to the Rockies. So that's going to be a common storyline, I think, around your 3rd overall selection here in the 3rd round.
We share a deep kinship. And I appreciate him very much. We worked together in the front office for the Diamondbacks at the same time, and we came here to Colorado at close to the same time. So Daniel Bard has always been my guy, but I'm so happy he's on my team.
Daniel Bard truly was one of the best stories. Scott Oberg will be the best story this year, so I'm going a little more futuristic with that. But Daniel Bard. It made us all of us Rockies fans have something to smile about last year and just be really just appreciate what kind of talent it takes and what kind of work ethic it takes to get back from where he was and to be not only just playing professional sports but become a closer and be as successful as he was and I think I saw him in the other day. He was throwing 98 again, 99. It's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, by far the best story out of the Rockies organization last season. So it's kind of hard not to feel good about him.
Maybe the last 2 years, in fact. And you've got an opportunity here for the Rockies to have back-to-back comeback dude of the year award, which is an interesting little angle. And you think about places people go to kind of salvage their career, 5,000 feet usually is not part of that storyline. So that would be really curious if Oberg was able to do that. Suspense, third round, third pick. Who you got?
I am going to go. I have a starting pitcher. I have a relieving pitcher, so I got to get a fielder. And this guy can pretty much play anywhere on the baseball field other than maybe first base. He's fast. He could steal 25 to 30 bases if given the opportunity. He can play center field. He can play second base in case Brendan Rodgers doesn't work out. And just love the way he plays the game. He's like a little spark plug. I'm going to take Garrett Hampson.
The hamster.
Excellent.
That's a great
selection.
pick. Great pick.
Excellent.
That's one of those ones, kind of like my John Gray pick, I think, where right now people, when we put the poll out tomorrow, may not give you as many points for having Garrett Hampson on your team. But when we redo the poll a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, Garrett Hampson's going to look like a better and better pick.
I've seen his name on a lot of lists this year as one of those like sleeper candidates to break out. Maybe not necessarily be an all-star, but be a guy that you kind of look up at the stat sheet and you say, all right, he's top 5 in stolen bases and he's got a decent average and maybe works his way to the top of the lineup. We have seen it this spring where he's been batting second on off days for Tapia. He's leading off. So fantastic pick there.
All right, my third pick now in the draft. This one's actually really easy for me. I thought Spence might make it a little bit difficult, but I was worried about getting left out of the starting pitching party. Now I'm going to be drowning in it because I have to take Antonio Senzatella.
Gotta.
He's been my dude for a little while now. Obviously, I was big on calling him as an emerging dude last year, and I'm just going to keep riding that train. I don't see any reason why. I don't think his stats are going to balance out over the course of 162 to quite how good he was last year. But I think it's for real. I think it's a for real transformation. I think this guy's going to surprise a lot of people that it wasn't just a 60 game sample size. He's a very good pitcher. He's still only 25, 26 years old. And so, yeah, I'm expecting a good big year out of Senzatella.
Senzatella to me has that like Josh Fogg energy where he doesn't necessarily shut other teams down, but when he's on the mound, you're like, they're going to win this baseball game. Yeah. And I think it wasn't last year in the shortened season, but 2 years ago, he had like a 4-something ERA, maybe even in the 5s, but like he won like 7 or 8 games because every game he went out, like the Rockies seemed to score 3 or 4 and he'd allow 2 or 3, just enough to leave with the lead.
Right.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was my guy. That's where I was going to look to next there to maybe get some starting pitching. I might wait. I might not have any starting pitching because I'm looking for dudes that I can call my dude. And so with my third overall pick here in the third round, got to pick a guy that I got to meet in person just a couple years ago when he was down in Hartford in 2018 and got to see him flourish during the 2019 season, almost an MVP type candidate in the Pacific Coast League. And that is Mr. Sam Hilliard. All around
slamming Sammy Hilliard.
He's just a great dude. If we're talking about baseball dudes, great dude. If we're just talking about great human beings, he might even be better. Everything he's doing with ALS, and it's fantastic seeing him and Stephen Piscotty a couple weeks ago together. Coincidentally, on the same day they announced, that they were going to have a Lou Gehrig celebration on June 2nd, a day in which I'm not sure if everyone's going to be wearing the number 4, but Lou Gehrig becomes the third player to get a day named after him, after Jackie Robinson, of course, and Roberto Clemente. So it's fantastic that Sam Hilliard is a part of that and at the forefront, and just really making this entire community proud with everything he's been able to do, raising funds and just being an overall good human being. He's just a nice young man.
Big dude, fast dude, good dude. Hopefully he's a good dude out there on the diamond. I agree that he'd be one of the best stories. If it works out, he starts to enter that category of when people dig deeper into everything you just mentioned that's gone on with his family, but then even being a 15th round pick and really never being considered a top prospect all the way up to his major league debut. Like that's a great one. And he's going to get his shot,
He will. Yeah. And he was essentially drafted as a pitcher by the Twins the year prior and said, no, I think I'm a hitter. I'm going to bet on myself and I'm going to actually turn down this guaranteed money to go to Wichita State. So feeling good about that. Sam Hilliard as my dude. All right. Well, I only got 2 picks left. And I think I want to take this guy because he really could be something special this year. And he might be there for me for my fifth and final pick. But I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna go with guys I think that are gonna play really well this year that I'm looking forward to rooting for, and that is catcher Elias Diaz. I'm going with Diaz because we talked about it on Tuesday's podcast that he very well has an opportunity to do some big things behind the plate offensively, the likes we haven't really seen since William Rosario in the mid-2010s. So he's done a fantastic job working with starting pitchers and relief pitchers alike. And so I'm really excited to welcome him as one of my dudes.
I would like to point out that Patrick doesn't have a pitcher yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sure enough.
Bold strategy, Cotton, and that's the strength of the team. Bold strategy.
We'll see how it works out for him.
Look, I was picked early. The first 3 picks were the starters, and ultimately I said I'm sticking to my dudes more than I'm worried about having the best dudes. I wanted my dudes.
It'll be interesting to see because remember the fans are going to vote on this, and it's usually a little bit easier to cheer for Rockies position players because they'll put up some numbers, and Rockies pitchers are going to have those bad days. You know, they're all going to have them. So I'm fascinated to see how that plays out, man. Good stuff.
And I love balance. We talked about this going into the draft. If we were going to have to make it a rule where you have to select one out of every group, and at the end of the day, it's like, no, let's just have fun with this and let's have everybody pick the guys that they really do they like rooting for, and we'll feel good about calling their dude. Drew, who's your dude?
Okay, well, I'm actually really glad you did that because I was thinking about taking my dude more in the spirit of that dude's your dude. Yeah, Makayla, we have to have set the record by now, right?
Oh, we're way past the dude count.
And it would have felt weird to take the backup catcher before the starting catcher. That being said, the backup catcher, Dom Nunez, is my dude. And I've got to take him here. I'm a big believer in Dom Nunez. I think he's going to have a solid year. He's finally going to get his chances. I think he's really going to endear himself to the fans. And again, that's more of a long-term play that I'm making there with Dom Nunez, but I was in danger of maybe not getting Raimel Tapia earlier, a guy who's literally my dude, and Nunez as well. I met Dom Nunez when he was 17 years old and playing second base for the Grand Junction Rockies, and to see him out there doing his thing and still fighting for that spot. He's a cerebral player. I've always really liked his approach to the game. He's walking a lot this spring, which is something that's always been a big part of his game. Doesn't get people excited, but gets me excited. Dom Nunez, that's my dude.
All right. So I have two guys left on my main draft board, and I think my last guy is going to slide to me after Makayla's 2 picks. So I'm going to go with the guy we've all been talking about, my dude, Connor Joe.
It's Connor Joe time.
Woo! The real CJ of this team, not CJ Crone. CJ is Connor Joe, baby.
You're going Connor Joe right here.
This is a long-term play as well, kind of like the Dom Nunez play. Connor Joe was diagnosed with testicular cancer last year, missed the whole season. He bounced around organizations after being a first-round pick in 2014 by the Pirates. The only thing I don't like about him is every picture in MLB.com has him wearing a Dodger stuff. So we're going to have to get an updated photo, but also that gives me some hope because it seems like everybody that wears Dodger stuff in the minor leagues just becomes a unreal player at the major league level. So I think he's maybe the long-term solution at first base, depending upon what they do with Fuentes, Ryan McMahon, etc. Got some pop in his bat. I think he hit one off the left field foul pole yesterday or 2 days ago for a 3-run home run. So I'm really excited. I read a story on him, and they said that he was really mechanically just trying to figure things out when he first got to the majors, and the Pirates organization messed him up. So we're gonna bring him to altitude, and who knows? He may make the opening day roster, but there's always injuries, and he's going to find his way up, I think, at some point this year.
And even beyond what he does on the field, I really think there's a, I don't know, maybe it's a TV show, maybe it's a podcast for Connor Joe and Mr. Spencer Smith called Cup of Joe. It combines the love of coffee and golf, and I just think it's a winning combination right there. Cup of Joe. Have at it.
I'm in.
It's a great pick.
Makayla, you got 2 dudes to go here. How are you feeling? Do you have some dudes on your list that are really high up that you're like, wow, I'm kind of surprised these guys fell to me. I'm happy to have them in my stable.
I have one on my list that's really high up. My last one, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. Hold on, I need a second to process.
It's gonna be an audible. Well, if you tell us who you want here in the 4th, we can stall and you could think about this one. Man, I think she's just.
I love it.
Okay,
Right?
I think I got it.
She's putting out a group chat.
No, I
have
my board right here. I'm looking at my board, my draft board. Okay, so I'm actually surprised he's still available, and I'm really happy about it. I'm scared because I don't want to make Rockies fans upset, and they're the ones that are voting on this poll or this draft. So I'm a little nervous about that because it's a little touchy subject still. Okay. But he is by far, I think, the best.
This is the right pick.
Available.
This is the correct pick.
That was the guy I passed on.
This is the right thing.
I'm scared because I'm afraid everyone's going to get mad.
Afraid.
It's fine.
Do
it's
it with
okay.
gusto.
I'm going to do Austin Gomber. And I know Rockies fans are going to be mad because I know he's what we got back for Nolan Arenado, and we're not over it yet. But he looks so promising. I think he's no doubt going to be the 5th person in their rotation. He has a curveball that scares me. I mean, this guy has more than, I think, 4 solid pitches in his arsenal that he can go to that will be great pitches. Like I said, his curveball is nasty. He struck out the side in his spring training debut. I am so excited to watch him play. And I think he needs to be my dude because I think I need to just process it.
Cathartically, spiritually. He needs
he'll be like the Band-Aid over the Nolan shape size in my heart. So I'm confident with that pick. I hope Rockies fans don't get mad at me because I know that's what we got back for Nolan. But I really do think he has a super high ceiling. His curveball is disgusting. I don't know how anyone's going to hit that. They honestly have a better chance of closing their eyes and swinging than they do trying to track that ball. So I'm excited about him. Like I said, I really do think he's going to be the 5th guy in their rotation. So hopefully nobody is too mad about that.
Love it. Actually what that did was that put a huge smile on my face. A smile brought to you by Green Mountain Dental Group. By the way, everyone's got to check them out. Makayla, I know you've been having some work done, getting ready for some stuff. And Green Mountain Dental, they're taking care of you. Overwhelmingly positive reviews, but still.
Yeah, Green Mountain Dental is the place to go if you need a dentist. If you already have one, I'm telling you, leave them, abandon them, go to Green Mountain Dental. You have to go be Dr. Ben's patient. I am horrified of the dentist. I have a lot of psychological issues when it comes to going to the dentist. I'm claustrophobic. I hate hands in my mouth. It's a horrible experience for me, but by far and away, Green Mountain Dental has been the best dental experience of my young 24-year-old life. They take care of you. They make you feel like family. They respect your boundaries and they make sure you know everything that's going on with your dental care, and they explain things to you and make sure that you're on the same page that they are. And Dr. Ben is so kind. Everyone in the office is awesome. If you have a dentist, go to Green Mountain Dental. If you don't have a dentist, go to Green Mountain Dental. They will take care of you. They're going to be fixing my teeth on next Tuesday. So I'm super excited to see Dr. Ben again. It's the first time probably in my life I've ever been excited to go to the dentist. So check out Green Mountain Dental. I promise you it's worth it.
Plus, they hook you up with a free Sonicare toothbrush when you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam today at Green Mountain Dental. Fantastic.
And you shouldn't celebrate them just because it's St. Patrick's Day. All year round, 365 days a year.
That's right.
Green Mountain Dental. Wear green. Enjoy it.
And I'm sure you could also get some pretty good recommendations from Green Mountain Dental from the Colorado XOs. Those rugby guys need the dental work. You know they do. Every once in a while, you get a few knocked out. And I'm really excited to get into this rugby thing. Actually, I was talking to my mom today on the phone. She goes, you know what I do? go to a rugby game. Like, I really like, she's getting her second vaccine here before too long. I know a lot of you out there are doing that. You're getting back out there into the world, Infinity Park, streaming games still too, whatever you want to do, whether it's Colorado XOs or the Rugby World Cup getting kicked off on April 3rd and 10th. So mark your calendars for that. You just got to get hooked up with all of it from our guy, Colton Strickler, over on the DNVR Rugby podcast. Check out all the written content there. Follow it, man. Rugby's a whole lot of fun. If my mom's getting into it now for the first time, you can get into it now for the first time too.
All right. I really don't know what I'm going to do with my last pick. You guys
have bought some time.
You've bought me enough time. I think.
Don't screw up everyone else's draft board. How about that? That's really the only thing we're asking. Maybe Spence will whisper to who he's going to go with, so you don't take his pick.
I should have picked Comber. I knew it.
I want to take another pitcher, but I don't because I have enough. Like I have 3 at this point. So I could take another pitcher, but I think I need to round it out a little bit better. I have 1 infielder, so I think I'm going to go with an outfielder. I'm going to pick Jonathan Daza.
Oh my God.
What was that?
That's literally just you double stole right out from under me.
I'm sorry.
Out from under me.
Of all the people you could have drafted, it's the one that has the exact same hairdo as Spencer. Really? Yeah. Well, maybe not exactly, but I mean, I think you guys are haircut brothers in a way.
Yeah.
Was that it? Was that the attractiveness to you, Spence, on Daza?
Yeah, Andy's hitting like 464 in spring training. That too, and I think isn't he out of options right now? So it's kind of like basically put him on the roster or kind of let him go. And while I was talking when I was picking Connor Joe, he actually hit a double. So it's just like meant to be with that guy right there.
That spring game against the Dodgers was horrible, but Daza's performance was like one of the things that like made watching the game tolerable. So, and I think he knows that too. I mean, obviously, I think he knows that he's out of options and it's his time to step up. So hopefully it's more of a sleeper pick and people are not too critical about that one. Obviously, he's not as tenured as long as the other options that have been on my board, but I think he's going to prove himself. I hope he does at least. I know they need some depth in the outfield with, opt-outs and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go. That's my board. I'm happy. I'm so happy. My draft strategy paid off.
It's a very good board. Your team looks good.
Thanks, guys.
Not going to lie.
Let's see. Sorry, Spence can bring it back together for his 5th and final pick. I think, Spence, you're happy about anyone that you get. So I know you're going to be good in the long run, right?
I'm going to go. I think so. I'm going to go with a guy that is really not on his last leg with the Rockies if he doesn't have a good season, but he's had the chance to be the closer. I'm going to go back to the bullpen. He throws. I don't know if the other people call him this, but my brother and I have affectionately nicknamed him Gastevez. I'm going to go Carlos Estevez.
Very good pick.
Makayla, you have totally screwed all of us because that was my guy. And so Spence had to take my guy because you took 2 of his guys.
Yeah.
This is falling apart.
Hey, you guys all had a chance to take him before me, so I don't want to hear it.
And I like the nickname, Gastevez.
Gastevez.
Nice.
Yeah. It's better than the wild thing, which is fun for a little while until you realize you don't want him to be wild, and that's just irritating.
How did he? And again, I wasn't around when that nickname was born. Tiger Blood would have been way better if you want to go with the Charlie Sheen stuff.
Right?
Call him Tiger Blood, man. That would have been it.
Totally.
Damn.
All right. A couple of different ways I could go here. There's a few guys I like.
Drew, you're going to take my guy now.
Probably.
Now, I had 2 guys.
Probably.
This is all crumbling everywhere.
So
I know you're going to do it.
Probably. I'm going to lead you into it so you'll know if I'm doing it as it's happening. But, I loves me some John Gray and some Antonio Senzatella. Raimel Tapia is going to do what he's going to do. Dom Nunez, that's a projection pick. My team's lacking a little bit of thump. I need a little bit of thump. I'm not going to mess up Patrick here. Okay.
Thank you for returning the favor. Thank you.
You let me have Raimel Tapia earlier. I'm going to let you have whichever Is it going to be the relief pitcher that I was thinking about taking instead?
We'll see, but
we'll see.
Keep thumping away, my man.
I'm going to take CJ Cron. I think CJ Cron, and actually, again, CJ Cron has been my dude for a couple of years from afar. I've wanted the Rockies to acquire this guy for a while.
That's right.
Now that he's got no knees, maybe it's not the best time to have done that. But he's shown us still this spring. He can still rake. He's a fundamentally sound hitter. As long as he can find some health, he's going to find a way to contribute to the Rockies. And they used to say chicks dig the long ball, but I never understood that because doesn't everybody dig the long ball? Like people,
the opposing pitcher, no, but other than that, everyone else does. Yes, that's right.
So I'm going to count on him hitting some big, fun, exciting home runs that are going to win me some votes. I'm taking CJ Cron.
Yeah, your squad just has, I think, the highest, in some ways, the highest upside where you could have 4 of those 5 guys as all-stars this year. You know, in a perfect world, that's a fantastic team. All right, I'm not going to go relief pitcher.
All right.
I'm not. Robert Stevenson and Yensei Almonte were kind of
Almonte
guys on my list.
Was considered, yeah.
Yeah, he's on the list. He's on the short list. Chris Owings is left from the infield. Doesn't do so much for me. And while I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to get out of my final pick, I think we will finally see him make his debut. And I'm a big fan of the old prospects, even if they are old. But this guy isn't. It's left-handed starter Ryan Rollison. Feel really good about what he's going to bring to this entire franchise in the next couple of years. So while this year might not, be a major boost, and in a way you almost hope that he doesn't get an opportunity to contribute much because that means all 5 starters have been healthy. That would be fantastic. And so maybe you don't see him until September, or maybe he has to come up just as a kind of a long relief spot, something like that. Regardless, that's fine. But Ryan Rollison is my final pick. And I'm very happy because I feel like all the guys I have, I really like. Like, they're guys that I would have essentially called my dudes going into this before anything else.
Guys who are your dudes. Dudes who are your guys. Oh, look at this. Nathaniel Sunshine is running live projected data on our teams right now as we speak.
Oh my God.
Makayla, your projected total, where is it? Oh, you got it. Kale's got it. Projected, wait.
What are those numbers, Drew? Go ahead.
1044? I was going to say 10. I think he's saying 1044. So last year they put up a combined 2.9 WAR, and they're projected to put up 10.4 WAR this year. Spence's put up 1.5 last year, 5.5 projected this year. All right. Let's see if he comes out with the rest of them. But we are about to wrap up. Fantastic stuff. I do have to remind everybody, by the way, that you got to become members of the DNVR.com if you don't want to miss out any of that written content. You want to get discounts on hats and shirts and masks, bigger beer when you come down to the DNVR bar, all that good stuff. But right now, for our next 300 members, if you sign up to become an annual DNVR member, not only do you get the free shirt of your choice from the DNVR locker, but you also get a Recover Holistic stick from Holistic Wellness. What is that, you ask? Well, Holistic Wellness, it's all about the CBD. The stick we will send you packs 10 milligrams of CBD. This one is focused on recovery. All you do is pop the top off the stick, pour it in any drink, stir, and consume. They are amazing. Very easy to use. No mess. You just grab that stick, pop the little top off, you stir it in there. Check out the reviews at holisticwellness.com. That's HOLISTIK wellness.com. And better yet, they are offering our listeners 30% off their first purchase when using code DNVR30 to get an annual membership, a free DNVR shirt, and a holistic stick with the coupon. It's a banger of a deal. We suggest using your DNVR30 code on the sampler pack, which includes 5 sticks of CBD for recovery, sleep, stress, beauty, digest. I need that beauty stuff. You see what works best for you and your future purposes. Head to the DNVR.com today. Become a member of the family. All right, we got to sign off, Sunshine. We'll have to get the rest of those projections. The Sunshine's working hard, but we got to.
Anybody else have any players that you're like, hey, you know what? He's not an official dude for me, but
I have an honorable
auxiliary.
mention. I think Liam West might actually murder me for saying this, but I love him because his glasses are hilarious and he's just got this swag about him that makes my life. And he's a left-handed pitcher, which everyone needs on their team. Philip Deal, he's my guy. I didn't draft him because Liam told me not to. And I understand why. Obviously, he's not as proven as the other ones, but like you can't deny he's got swag. His glasses make my entire life. And I love that he's a lefty in their rotation, in their bullpen, which is what they need. So Philip Deal's my guy. That's what I'm going with.
You just drafted our coworker.
Justin.
You just drafted our coworker, Justin.
And if you don't get that reference, just go back on YouTube and check out the DFA show when we did lookalikes, and you can see a side-by-side of Phil Deal and Justin.
Let me tell you, they're identical twins.
I love him. I think he's hilarious. Like I said, Liam West is not happy with me in the comments. I didn't draft him, so like it's okay. But you can't deny he's got swag. I mean, for a skinny white dude, he's got swag. Like I'm all on the Philip Deal train. I hope he crushes it this year.
Love it.
I had Colton Welker and Ryan Valade also listed. Spence, who else did you have?
I'm looking at the pitcher that's actually going to be the lefty out of the bullpen this year. I think Ben Bowden is a good player. Like that, you have to have that guy. Like I always remember when. Now it's leaving me. Who did the Rockies have like
right
4 years ago?
Mike Dunn.
Mike Dunn, yes. Yeah. And he wasn't that great, but like you had that lefty where you're like, all right, we got to get now it's multiple outs apparently, depending upon where they start in the inning, if there's not 2 outs. But you got to have a lefty in the bullpen. You can't come out with all righties, even if they are all throwing close to 100. So Ben Bowden's a guy to watch this year, I think.
Another one too, he kind of sucks, but I still love him so much because he was on the Diamondbacks and I know him as a human being and he is an incredible human being. Chris Owings. He's going to be, obviously he'll be more of a utility guy, someone that they need if like injuries are plaguing the roster or whatever else.
We could almost do a whole supplemental round. We could have done
right. Not the best, but I love him as a human. He really is a stand-up guy. I will always support Chris Owings no matter where he goes. But that's another one.
He's a first-round pick when it comes to hair. Like if you're talking about style, whether it's on top of your head or it's on the bottom of your head, as a beard. Michael Givens. I know no one was going to give him any love.
And the NC Monte were going to be
a
my next dude.
He could be a guy that at the trade deadline, Rockies will probably offload him, maybe get something really good. And you go, hey, everyone's buzzing about Michael Givens, and a lot of teams think he could be a piece that they need in the bullpen for the postseason. So I think there'll be a lot more chatter about Givens once the season gets started.
Oh, Sunshine's got one more for us. My guys last year put up a 2.75 and are projected for an 11.09 WAR. So, my team's got a solid projections. I don't think we're going to have enough time to hang around for that last one. We'll have to get you updated on the next one. This is why you got to come by the YouTube, by the way. You've got to subscribe to the YouTube. Otherwise, you're missing all this stuff. You're missing all the fun visual graphics we had made by the one and only Tech Boy for your viewing pleasure today. Subscribe there. Give us a like. We really appreciate it when y'all do that on the YouTube. Having a lot of fun out here. As we said, you got to make sure to subscribe to the DNVR.com for all of those member benefits. He did get it in time. Look at your dude. Nathaniel Sunshine is everyone's dude. Last year for Patrick's guys, a 1.8 projected 7.5.
Exactly. So look, when you go and you vote for my team, also just leave a comment why it's so superior to the other three. I mean, again, your teams are very good.
What are you
your dudes are
about?
good. I love your dudes, but obviously my dudes are the best dudes. So just
dudes.
tell them why and help them understand it. That's all.
Do not vote for Patrick. I will disown you. Just kidding.
If anyone was playing a drinking game with Breck Brew or Seltzer today, taking a sip every time we said, dude, we apologize for your liver. Thank you.
Do not get in a car.
Do not get in a car.
Dude,
be
where
safe
is
out
your
there.
car?
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to subscribe to the DNVR.com. Follow everyone on social media at Patrick D. Lyons, at Makayla E. Perkins, at Big Drive Spence, at Kel Sorbo, at DNVR_Rockies, at having fun with playing. Nope, that's not one. I was just making it up. Thank you all for continuing to be absolutely awesome out there. I promise you, we will continue to be absolutely Patrick Lyons, Big Drive, Spence, Makayla, and Kale Sorbo in here. And well, I didn't even say my own name. Who cares? You all know who I am. It is what it is. Thank you for continuing to be awesome. We'll be us. And until next time, we'll see you at the ballpark.